What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? We're going a little early. It's just in front of 11 o'clock here on the West Coast. And welcome into the Prep Sportsnet studios here in Indio, California. It has been a wild night in high school sports here in the Coachella Valley. Hello over again. I am Kevin Pillow, your host of Prep Sportsnet, of course, the Desert Sands Educational Foundation halftime show, and coming soon, Prep Sportsnet live on Saturday mornings. Got a full wrap up of all the games going on, but like I said before earlier at the halftime show, right there in the comment section below, hit us up, sends it right here to the main studio, and we can have a little discussion about what went on tonight. Crazy games going on. We had shutouts, we had blowouts, we had nail biters, we had league championship ramifications on the line. And it all happened tonight. Week 1 of the Desert Empire League, week 3 of the Desert Valley League. What a crazy night. Let's take a look at the scores. I'll have the ticker here below in just a moment. Again, don't forget, folks, at Desert Sands EF on Twitter for more information about upcoming Desert Sands Educational Foundation events, including the Foundation Express on November 6th and the Big Gala on February 4th of next year. Again, I am Kevin Pillow. You can follow all the exploits of Prep Sportsnet on Prep Sportsnet, Prep Sports _net on Twitter. You can also, if you so choose, and I highly recommend it, hit me up on all social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, you name it. Voice of Reason 23. You can also find me on twitch.tv at True Voice of Reason 23 there. And we'll be doing some live streams there on our one of our other channels. Of course, you can catch all your news and notes on pop culture on PS Comics I Love You, another little podcast that I host. Well, let's give you a rundown of the scores from tonight's games. And let's talk a little bit about what happened exactly tonight. I mean, it was crazy games tonight. Let's take a look first in the Desert Valley League. On the road, we have a score correction from earlier, by the way. We had mentioned earlier it was 21-12 in favor of Indio. It actually was not 21-12. It was 23-0 was the final. Indio goes on the road and pitches a shutout Arguably one of the greatest games that Indio has ever played was last year. They beat the Wildcats in overtime. Absolute nail biter. And they go on the road tonight and pitch a shutout. That defense, I'm telling you, is something. When they're clicking, it is something to behold. And there's some fine players on that defense, and I'm sure we'll talk about them as we get later on into the season. But job well done by Indio tonight to get the big shutout. They worked out a lot of the kinks on offense last week. Used um, a game against Cathedral City, which I talked to the coaches before the game, and they were not taking that game lightly against the Lions last week. And they decided to use that game to bust out the new uniforms, the all reds, and also bust out some new trick plays and some other big offensive plays. So not surprising, Indio goes on the road and wins the way they do, but for them to once again get the shutout for the second consecutive week, by the way, it's pretty impressive. Pretty good job by that defense. So 23-0 the final. Indio with the win. Don't have much on the stat line for you. Speaking of a wild game, it featured, I think I read somewhere, it featured 5 lead changes in the last 5 minutes of the game. Yucca Valley 39, Coachella Valley 40. Yucca Valley decides to go for it go for 2 after scoring a late touchdown with just about 43 seconds to go. They are denied the extra point, or the 2-point conversion rather, and then kick the onside kick. Coachella recovers. They win the game. So 40-39 the final. The Arabs win. Take a look at the DVL scoreboard for Yucca Valley. Well, first off, Indio next week will take on Yucca Valley at home. It'll be homecoming for I believe it'll be homecoming for Indio. And next week it will be at 29 Palms for Coachella. So they'll just flip flop opponents. So Coachella and Indio, big wins tonight. Against major opponents. This, we talked about at halftime that this was moving day. Okay, this was a chance for schools to move up the rankings and begin to set the pace for the rest of the year. And for Coachella, that's what they did tonight. They began to move themselves up the rankings, away from Yucca Valley, who had a hot start. For Yucca, they dropped to 4-1 on the year and 2-0 in league play. Now, for power stance reasons, Yucca and Coachella, I was going to say that. Stand corrected. I apologize. Yucca's 4-2 on the year, fall to 2-1 in league play. Coachella improves to 5-1, 3-0 in league play. For Indio, they improved to 3-3 overall, 3-0 in league play. And for 29 Palms, they dropped to 2-5 and 2-1 in the Desert Valley League. For the rest of the DVL, take a look at what would happen tonight. Desert Hot Springs clawed themselves back into the game against the Banning Broncos, but were unable to come away with the win. The Broncos win 14-12 in a nail-biter in that game. And that will round out the rest of, I was right, Cathedral City shuts out Desert Mirage. So DHS will drop to 0-6, 0-3 in the year overall in league play. Banning improves to 1-5, 1-2 in league play. Cathedral City's win over DM gives the Lions a 1-5 overall record, 1-2 in league play, and DM drops to 2-4, 0-3 in the Desert Valley League. So right now, as it stands, it is by league record only. Indio and Coachella at 3-0 at the top of the DVL. Yucca and 29 Palms at 2-1. Cathedral City and Banning at 1-2, and DHS and DM at 0-3. Just to give you an update, though, Desert Christian Academy did not play tonight. They are currently second in the Cottonwood football standings. They will play next week. Take a look at the Desert Empire League. Oh my goodness. Holy cow, what a night this was. Let's start first. Palm Springs, all over Rancho Mirage. 43-7 is the final score in that game. You know, I've known LD. They're celebrating their 10-year anniversary this year of Rancho Mirage High School. You know, I interviewed LD when he moved over to Rancho from, I think he moved over from Desert Hot Springs, if I'm not mistaken. And you know, he's a great coach. He's a great leader, a great father figure for some of these players. And I really, really enjoy what he does with this program. And I hope that one down year for the Rattlers does not deter anybody from making any rash decisions. I think LD is one of those coaches that win, lose, or draw, he stays at that team unless something absolutely crazy happens. There's no reason for LD to leave that school. I think he means a lot to that program, and you know, despite some of these lopsided losses this year, I think the Rattlers are just fine. You know, maybe they got you got to take your punches every once in a while. You look at India. You know, I talked about it. I used to do the radio show for about 4 years, and India was a punching bag for those 4 years. They were lucky if they got the one win. So teams will go through down periods. Not everyone can win. As a famous man once said, the world needs ditch diggers too. Not everyone can be the gold standard. Not everyone can win. And right now, Rancho's in a down year. Palm Springs is coming back up. I mean, what a roller coaster it's been for the last few years for Coach Murphy and the Indians. But I'd say one thing: this Desert Empire League is right for the picking, and you'll know here in just a couple of moments why I say just that. But Palm Springs, big win tonight, 43-7 over the Rattlers, as they improve to 1-0 in league play. They will jump up to 4-1-1 overall. Of course, they had the COVID tie. For Rancho, they dropped to 1-5 on the year, 0-1 in Desert Empire League play. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, or at halftime rather, that Shadow played last night. And I had someone ask me last week, you know, on the halftime show, why teams play a lot of Thursday games. And it really boils down to the referees, lack of referees, and just not able to get enough people out there to play or out there to officiate. And like I said, if you want to contact the officials and find out how you can participate and get become an official, then you know, get involved and get more officials out there, so we don't have to have all these Thursday night games. But it also does spread out the spreads out the administrative staff for a lot of these schools. You know, when we have a cluster of 11 high schools here in the Coachella Valley, and they're all having to be open late on a Thursday night wears thin on staff a little bit. It has its plus and its minuses. I'd love to have. I can remember the days of having all of the schools um, playing on a Friday night. But again, I think most of the reason why they don't have they don't have all the games on Friday night is hands down is the referee show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in that are calling from, watching us from CoachellaValley.com. I want to say a special thank you out there to all the staff from CoachellaValley.com for supporting us as they always do every single Friday night. And got to send a special thanks to Craig Campbell, the owner and proprietor of CoachellaValley.com, for allowing us to stream on his platform, and look forward to more interactions with CoachellaValley.com. I really love it. By the way, it's a perfect domain name to have. So thanks, Craig, and everyone over at CoachellaValley.com. So before we get to the final game of the night, I want to go to a highlight here, and I'm going to have to do a little trickery here. Give me one moment. I got to move some screens and whatnot. Bear with me. We're going to have to do this here. Doing a little technology change here. As I attempt to bring up this replay that I want to show you here. Crazy night in La Quinta. What an amazing game this was tonight. So let's bring up this replay. This was late in the game. I want to get your guys' opinion. So get ready in the comment section below. This was late in the game. The Blackhawks. This is thanks to the Desert Sun, by the way. So let's take a look at this whole play. Yeah. No, don't want Wikipedia. So here's the play. Okay. Do this in slow motion. That is Palm Desert's wide receiver. I don't have the roster in front of me. Going for it in the corner of the end zone. Goes up, makes a spectacular catch. Arguably one of the best catches of the night. Best catch of the season. Now, does not look at it as he comes down 1 foot down, but doesn't quite have complete control of the ball. And the La Quinta defender looks like he kind of pokes the ball loose right about there. Okay. Now, mind you, I'm going to tell you right now, this was ruled a touchdown. Comes down with the ball. Ball is still loose, and it hits right there. Okay. It hits the turf. Now, you're probably going, well, Kevin, it was probably a tough call. Maybe the referee was out of position. Oh, wait, the referee is right there. So again, let's take a look at that and let us know in the comment section if so it goes up, makes the catch, foot down, no control of the ball is loose, hits the ground right there. Now, I've been told that to maintain control, to avoid that happening, you almost have to kind of cradle underneath it. You got to have it underneath. If the tip of the football is touching the ground, that's one thing. If you've got kind of control and you've got your hands underneath the football, but this one he's got he's got his hands are on top. I think he's got one on the end there and one on top. But he doesn't. He's never had complete control of the ball. And this was ruled, like I said, this was ruled a touchdown. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Was this a touchdown? Was this a, incomplete pass? Take one more look at it here, and I'm gonna do it in real time first. So let's rewind it. Goes up for it, makes the catch. That's real time. Touchdown. Defender says no good. So let's again right there. Ball's loose. Now that is the most damning evidence right there. And I never noticed that before. Take a look here in just a second. Let's take Kevin out of the video. Um, now, did it make a difference? We're about to tell you. No, it did not. Other than to make it a lot uh, closer than I'm sure um, La Quinta would have liked. The final in that game, in an absolute barn burner, uh, La Quinta 41, Palm Desert 43. I'm sorry, 34. I apologize. Sorry. 41-34 is the final um, in that game. So, and by the way, this marks the ending of a 5-game losing streak uh, for um, the Blackhawks as they uh, in that the first time they've won since 2016. I just I couldn't believe it's been that long. But yeah, so congratulations to the uh, Blackhawks. They will bring the flag home. Now, for those who don't know the story about uh, the flag, let's have a little discussion about this for a second. This goes back to my day and age, my time in high school. Um, Kid stole a flag, went across the field, stole the flag from the Palmetto sideline, um, and tried to get it back over into their stands, and it broke. Um, School had to pay for it, yada yada yada. It took a few years, but they decided that's what they were going to battle for was this flag. Pat Blackburn and Dan Armstrong got together and made this combined flag, and that's what they play for now, and it hangs in the gym now. Uh, in the early 2000s and into the teens, it wasn't even close. La Quinta just absolutely dominant. There was one fluke year that Palm Desert won it. I think it was like 2000. Had it been 2015, I think it was. It's either 2014 or 2015. And it was a fluke year. Palm Desert won it. But La Quinta just absolutely dominated that rivalry. And so now they have their hands back on the proverbial victory flag. So big change of the guard there as Palm Desert falls in league play. It might be the first time they've lost in league play in quite some time. Wouldn't have a chance to pull up the stats there, but that will drop the Aztecs uh, in the rankings here. Let's take a look at the updated Desert Empire League standings. Shadow Hills, Palm Springs, and La Quinta all 1-0. Shadow Hills at 4-2, so they lead the overall power ranking with the overall record and the 1-0 league record. Palm Springs at 4-1-1. We mentioned earlier they're 1-0, and La Quinta, like I said, 3-3, 1-0 in league play. Xavier Prep drops to 2-4. They're 0-1 on the league season. Palm Desert 4-2 now, tied overall with Shadow Hills. And Palm Desert drops to 0-1. Rancho Mirage 0-1. They are 1-5 overall. So, looking at the power rankings, your top 4 schools right now in the Coachella Valley high low desert, I'd have to go my top 5 right now. My top 5 power rankings. I would have to say right now, number 1 would have to still be Palm Desert. Number 2 would probably be Palm Springs. My number 3 would be Coachella. Number 4, I'd make Yucca Valley, and number 5, Shadow Hills. And that's just based on record. So that's my power ranking between the 2 leagues. Palm Desert still number 1, despite the loss. Palm Springs number 2, Coachella number 3, Yucca number 4, Shadow number 5. Let me know in the comments below. Do you disagree with those standings, those power rankings? Let me know in the comments. We will be back in live action next Friday night. We'll be out at Ed White Stadium for the for homecoming, Yucca and Indio. A lot of games going on. Take a look at the schedules coming up for first Shadow Hills. Shadow Hills will take on Rancho Mirage next week. The Indians will let's see where to go. Desert Empire League. There we go. Palm Springs will take on La Quinta. And Palm Desert will take on Xavier's in the Kings of Cook Street. So back-to-back rivalry games for the Aztecs before they will close out the season with Rancho Mirage and Palm Springs. So tough road there. We mentioned before that Yucca and Indio will play next week. Coachella and 29 Palms. Cathedral City, they will take on Banning, and that will give Desert Mirage and Desert Hot Springs a battle of bookends of the Coachella Valley. Don't forget, guys, if you want to contribute to our post-game show or even our halftime show, you can send us an email at officialprepsportsnet@gmail.com. If you've got stories, scores, highlights from other sports, if you've got a student athlete or even just a student that you want to highlight, let us know about it. Give us a story, photos, videos, whatever you want to contribute. And we look forward to talking about your student athlete in the future. Again, that's officialprepsportsnet@gmail.com. And we will look forward to talking about your student athlete in the future. Guys, thank you so much for staying up late with us for the Prep Sports Net post-game show. We're going to try to do this on the regular. We'll probably try to get it done next week as well, even though we will be on the road in Indio. But the game should be over hopefully before midnight, and we'll be able to get this on the air. I want to say thank you to Craig Campbell for CoachellaValley.com. Thank you to Sean Webb for the Desert Sands Educational Foundation. Thank you to everyone from the Desert Sun and KSQ and KMIR for contributing stats and scores and whatnot. I really do appreciate it. And of course, as always, want to thank you, everyone here at Prep Sports Net. And we will be back out at Ed White Stadium next week. Indio, Yucca, homecoming out in Indio. It should be a lot of fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy all of your games next week. And as I always say, please be safe. Please enjoy your night and enjoy those Friday night lights. Have a great night, guys. We will see you next week.